It's a time crunch on a lot of people, so we're going to make our statements, and we may have time for just one or two questions. I'm Attorney Ben Crump, here with Dr. Kimberly Crenshaw and our leader of the Congressional Black Caucus, Chairman Steve Horsford. And we're with the families of those who have been taken from this earth far, far too soon. And tragically, since George Floyd died, we really thought we were at a turning point, that we were going to get systematic police reform in America that had eluded us for decades. We hadn't had systematic police reform in the United States of America since Lyndon Baines Johnson Great Society legislation in the 1960s. We thought after Rodney King was killed, Rodney King was brutalized in the 1980s in Los Angeles, we would get systematic police reform. It did not happen. We thought surely after Michael Brown and Ferguson, hands up, don't shoot, that we would get systematic police reform in America. It didn't happen. We thought certainly after George Floyd was tortured to death on video during a pandemic, and everybody saw it, Congressman Horsford, we thought we were going to get police reform in America. It didn't happen. And then after Tyree Nichols was brutally beaten by 5 police officers, we thought we would get systematic police reform. It didn't happen. And I can only fathom, had we got that reform, how many families up here like Sonia Massey and others would have been spared their loved one becoming another hashtag. It is an urgent call. An urgent call. How many more exhibits, America, do we have to give you before we say we have to have some reform on these officers? If we would have had the National Registry, Sonia Massey's family would not have lost her just because she was a black woman having a mental health crisis, because that officer who had been in 6 police departments in 4 years would not have been on the force, and he would not have had the ability with a gun and a badge to shoot Sonia Massey in her face after she said, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus." It is very relevant to this moment. Before I get ready to turn it over to Dr. Crenshaw, well, we may, and we're going to limit everybody because we want to hear from these families, and then Congressman Horsford, Tyree Nichols' trial is going on right now in Memphis, Tennessee. We can never take for granted that when a black person in America is killed by a police officer, that they're going to get justice. We can't take it for granted, y'all. We can't take it for granted. Breonna Taylor. Breonna Taylor. My heart is broken, but her mother's heart must be broken in a million pieces, Dr. Crenshaw. In her own home, her body mutilated with bullet holes while she's practically naked in her nightgown. Everybody knows the police lied to get the no-knock warrant. Everybody knows they lied. But now we're going to say that that doesn't matter, that the reason she is dead is because her boyfriend, a law-abiding black man in America, had a right to the Second Amendment just like any other citizen. You gonna say it's his fault and they go free while Breonna is dead in her grave? It is an urgent call for systematic police reform in America. So Tyree, Sonia Massey, Breonna Taylor, families are here to talk and help give attention to all the other tragedies because their matter is relevant right now. So Dr. Crenshaw is going to speak briefly, and Chairman Horsford will say a word, but then we're going to hear from these families and proceed.